G'day guys, my name is CJ. Hope we're all still staying safe in these trying times. So despite the slight lull in tech developments over the last few months, new phone season is almost upon us, and we've just had an appetizer in the OnePlus Nord, and we're getting well into the main course with the upcoming Note 20 in August. And for me, it's been an opportunity to reflect on one of my favorite phones of 2019, the Note 10 Plus, an entertainment, photography, and productivity beast. It's a phone that I still use regularly as my main device, and in my opinion, is still one of the best phones out right now. And now that the Note 20 is around the corner, you can probably find the Note 10 for quite a bit cheaper compared to when it was first released. So for a lot of people, this phone makes a lot of sense and should be on the shortlist for their next phone to own. This is the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, revisited almost 12 months down the track. So how's it going? Let's take a look. So as a recap, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is a flagship smartphone with a 6.8-inch 60Hz curved AMOLED display, which is beautiful. It's combined with an Exynos 9825 or a Snapdragon 855 Plus, depending on where you live, and 12 gigs of RAM combined with a 4170 mAh battery. It also has one of the very best triple camera setups, all in a svelte, boxy glass and aluminium sandwich with a near negligible camera bump. And we haven't even gotten to the S Pen yet. For me, it still has one of the very best designs in any smartphone, even well into 2020. And it's part of the reason why I'm excited to see some of the leaks of the upcoming Note 20, because it maintains very similar design cues, albeit with a potentially larger camera bump. But we can cry about that another time. Now, despite its massive screen and battery, it's not heavy, and to me, it's never felt like a brick in the hand. And I don't have particularly large hands either. If anything, they're more short and stocky. But it does mean that its slightly wider profile compared to the Galaxy S20 line means it works better as a two-handed device, which isn't surprising either considering it comes with the S Pen, so it's already intended to be a two-handed device anyway. But that's not to say it can't be comfortably used with one hand, and software updates have gone a long way to improve this, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But if you're someone who needs a very easily one-handleable phone, this ain't it, chief. The bottom line though, the design still holds up today and is still one of my favorite looking phones in 2020. Now, one of the most important things with the phone aging is its ability to maintain the user experience from when you first unbox it. Sure, we can do reviews 2 to 4 weeks after we initially unbox it, but of course, unless you're using an absolute potato of a phone, the user experience is still going to feel pretty fresh and doesn't really reflect long-term typical use. Fortunately, 12 months on, the Galaxy Note 10 hasn't really shown any signs of aging around the edges. Scrolling, multitasking, using the phone for social media, and most everyday tasks is still just as snappy and smooth as it was on day one. No classic Samsung software jank to be seen here, fortunately. Now that's partly thanks to how advanced the silicon has become, but also reflects the work Samsung has put into software support, which seems to improve year on year. Sure, they're still often behind with security updates, but one of the best things to actually happen to the Note 10 was getting the Android 10 software update in a timely fashion, which admittedly was still months after the Pixel received it. In any case, Android 10 breathed new life into a software experience that was slowly becoming a bit boring, if not stale. The biggest jump was in full screen and fluid one-handed UI navigation pinched right from the book of iPhone. And that's no criticism because it's one of the best. It's made using this large slab of a phone easier to use and even more one-hand friendly than One UI had initially tried to be. The only downside right now is the lack of any third-party launcher support for one-handed gestures. Fortunately, Samsung has confirmed that support will be added in a future software update, but who knows when that'll be. But aside from that, overall, I've been really happy with the smoothness and how fluid the whole experience has remained even after all this time. And it's a great sign that Samsung really does care about the customers enough to keep the whole experience fresh. Now, what also has benefited with time and updates is the camera system. Sure, the photos it produces are still excellent and processing is still very classic Samsung, but some of the software features that we saw on the S20 series, like the single take mode, where AI helps the phone automatically take a combination of photos and boomerang pictures and video. It's a feature that was very quickly added to the Note devices soon after One UI was updated with Android 10. Now, I personally didn't find much use for this feature, but I mention it because it shows that Samsung aren't going to screw over their customers for features, even if they own slightly older devices. So that's nice. But last but not least, another key issue surrounding the aging smartphone is battery life. Screen on time is still a very subjective measure of longevity, and you really need to consider in the context of what you do and how you use your phone. For me, after 12 months, I haven't seen a massive drop off in battery longevity. It feels like it still lasts just as long as it did back when I first unboxed the phone. And whilst I know this experience is somewhat skewed because I switch phones from time to time, I do believe that thanks to optimized software and battery size, the Note 10 Plus is more than capable of keeping you going well into a year or even 2 years of use. It's the least you could expect from a phone of this caliber. Otherwise, the basics of what makes a Note is still here. It's a phone that helps you get stuff done, and it works just as you'd expect. And this includes the S Pen. If you've got a use for it, it still works perfectly well. And whilst overall more of a gimmick more than anything, I still find the reverse wireless charging feature a useful feature for accessories that support it, like the Galaxy Watch Active, and the odd subtle brag to mates by showing it can charge their phones as well. So with the Note 20 just around the corner, how does the Note 10 Plus stack up and age? Well, I don't think it should come as a surprise, but incredibly well. The only major difference compared to the 2020 flagships is in its 60Hz screen. It's still a more than capable device in 2020. For those who consider a Note 10 now at a cheaper price, you know what? They probably don't even care about having a high refresh rate screen anyway. And to be honest, as someone who loves this whole high refresh rate movement and can actually appreciate the difference, you do kind of forget that the Note 10 actually lacks that high refresh rate. And I think that says more about how great the overall package and experience of owning the Note 10 Plus is, even 1 year down the track. But what are your thoughts? Do you think it's a great phone in 2020? Let me know why or why not in the comment section below. As always, a big thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and ding the bell icon so you don't miss out. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Say good day, everyone, for me. Cheers.